In this short video, I'm testing out the live graduated filter on the OM1mkII. In this video, I'm at Dover Court Lighthouse. The photograph, I've come here for an early morning sunrise, but as you can see by the conditions, I've picked the wrong morning today. Forecast was for sunrise, but we certainly haven't had that. But what I'm actually trying out in this video is the new ND grad facility that's on the OM1mkII. Now, when the OM1mkII came out, a lot of people were saying, well, all it is just a slight upgrade on the OM1, which is, to be honest, to a certain extent is true, but there are certain things about the OM1mkII that you just couldn't do with a firmware upgrade on the OM1, and certainly one of those things is the new ND grad facility that you have on the OM1mkII. So what I've been doing is taking some pictures and using it and trying it out. Now I've had the OM1mkII for probably about 2 months now, because I had it actually before it actually was released. But this is really the first occasion where I've actually sort of come out and tried it. I've seen a couple of videos on it, and I thought, well, this will actually be a very, very good facility to use for landscape photography. So what I'll do is I'll show you the back of the camera, I'll show you the composition and show you some of the pictures I've been taking. Now, they're not going to be wonderful pictures because the light's very, very dull today, so it's overcast, but hopefully it will at least demonstrate the facility that is actually on the OM1mkII. So to use the new grad filter, you go into the menu, and on 2 you go to Live ND, which is the third one down. Currently it's off. Press that button, press it again, and then turn it on. Now when you come to the grad number, you've got 3 options. You've got grad GND2, GND4, GND8. Now I'm going to go for the mid one, which is GND4, which is 2EV, and you can decide what type of filter you want, soft, medium or hard. Now I'm going to go for medium. Okay, now here you can see on the back of the screen there's actually a line. You can see how it darkens as I move it up and down with my finger. You can use the up and down arrows on the keypad there, and you can change the angle of it if you want. If you're photographing somewhere where you've got a sloping horizon, you can alter it. I'm actually just going to have it about there. Actually, I'm just going to move it up a little bit, probably about there, I would think. And that's more or less right. So press the shutter button and wait. I'm actually going to wait for a nice wave to come in, so that it's a 2-second exposure now. As that one goes back out, should give me some nice streaks, hopefully. You can see it's doing it, and that's the finished picture. You get some nice movement on the water. We'll do another one. Just wait for that water to come in and then go out again. The tide's actually going out at the moment. So I'm actually chasing the tide as it goes out. So there, it's getting some nice movement. That's a 2-second exposure. Let's try it with a slightly softer effect on the sky. So I'm going to go for GradND 2, which is 1EV, and the filter type, I'm just going to go soft. Okay, so this is going to give me 1.6 second exposure. Wait for the water to come in, and as it starts to go back out, press the shutter button. And that's quite nice streaks and that on there. You must remember when using this to actually switch it off afterwards. So you need to go on there and turn it off. So here I'm going to show a few stills from the morning. All the shots are taken on a tripod using the 8-25mm f4 lens. And in these first pictures I'm using the seaweed covered groin as a lead-in line to the lighthouse. This shot was a long exposure at 25 seconds, and to obtain the long exposure I used an ND filter on the front of the lens. I've recently changed from my previous Lee filter system to the case circular magnetic system, and I'll be talking about that and the reason for it in my next video. This shot is the same shot as the previous image, but converted to monochrome using silver FX. Although I'm always shooting in colour, I often like to see what the picture looks like in mono, and sometimes I prefer the mono version to the actual colour version. This shot was a 1/6 of a second at f8, but I was often varying the shutter speed to get different effects. These two shots are a side-by-side comparison between a shot taken without a filter on the sky and then using the live GND. You can see that the sky on the left hand shot is a bit washed out compared to the sky on the right hand shot, which is given much more detail. Using a graduated filter on the sky works best on seascapes or landscapes where the horizon is flat. In shots where you have things that protrude into the skyline, such as mountains or trees or buildings, focus bracketing is probably a better option. So for this shot what I've done is I've changed the composition, and here I'm getting a lot better picture. As the tide has gone out, what it's done is exposed this, almost looks like a slipway of some sort, which is covered in loads and loads of seaweed, and actually the light is actually starting to improve. Now as the waves are coming in here, I'm getting some quite nice pictures there with the water moving, and it's a better composition actually. So what I'm going to do is carry on taking pictures, and I will vary the sky with the live ND or the Grad ND on it, so to see how it comes out. So the light's actually improving. As the tide started to recede, the causeway became my main foreground interest. Parts of it were covered in seaweed and parts of it were exposed, and the waves looked interesting as they crashed over it. Once again, varying the shutter speed allowed me to get different effects, and I could decide in post-production which shot gave me the most pleasing wave pattern. Often it's better to press the shutter button as the waves are going back out rather than when the waves are coming back in. You will get a much more pleasing effect as the tide draws back out, particularly if you use shutter speeds anything between 1/15 of a second and 1 or 2 seconds. Unfortunately, live Grad ND does not work in combination with live ND. It's a pity they do not work together, but I can get around this problem by using the case ND filters, and I'll talk about those in the next video. So I'm going to pack it up now because it's been a fairly productive morning, although it didn't start off particularly well. There was no sunrise, which I'd hoped for. I've certainly had some interesting conditions as far as the waves coming in, and hopefully I should get some decent pictures. What it has done is actually given me a really good opportunity to try out this graduated ND filter that's in the OM1mkII, and it's a facility I think I'm going to be using an awful lot now, and it certainly saves me having to carry a big bag of filters around when I'm sort of out doing landscapes and seascapes.
Hope you enjoyed the video and found it helpful. Please check out some of my other videos, and thanks for watching.